Hello, I'm Merzendi, and welcome to Legal. And we are in Scotland now. So, last time we left off, we had just engaged Thomas Graham once and decided to leave after having done that, so we didn't have to fight, Stapleton Cotton, because he had 200 men. He's down there around Dublin. So, what we're doing now is fighting a war, more or less. We've taken ship with 100 chasseurs à cheval up into Scotland, and now we are executing our mandate to engage British forces. Technically, as a sergeant, we shouldn't be doing this, even as a sergeant major. But, hey, it's fun. And I don't think any of you guys would particularly enjoy me doing the appropriate thing, which is just following around a marshal for a bit. So now we've engaged a patrol, and as we can see, they have grenadiers and hussars, as is the norm for British patrols. And, yeah. I wish I was this good all of the time at just, avoiding enemy cavalry attacks. But what I am definitely always good at is shooting a stationary target at point-blank range. It's not hard. Although getting shot and, more or less shrugging it off, that's a bit hard. One of my recruits was killed. Unfortunately, that is what happens when I leave all of my troops standing still. And if I remember correctly, because this battle felt very bloody when I was fighting it, as you can see, we've lost. So far, that's 3 men killed, at least. And, of course, my horse has been taken out. At least nowadays I can outfight someone with a bayonet. That's... Do you guys remember the first couple of episodes? With the pirates and all of the dying? I remember all of the dying. And so does Peppermint Farm. Or Pepperidge. Oh, god damn it. I know it's one of those. I don't remember which. And that's our loot, including a balanced sword. So, that's the 1796 light cavalry sabre. Now, an interesting story told about the 1796 pattern light cavalry sabre is that it was such an effective weapon that the French asked the British to stop using it. Now, that's not entirely true. In fact, there isn't actually any evidence of it being true. It was just, as far as the evidence says, it was just a story the British spread to make themselves sound more fearsome. The French had a similar story about their heavy cavalry sword. But it was so powerful and effective that the British requested that they withdraw it from service. And, again, no evidence of this. But now, back to what's happening. As you can see, this party, Henry Clinton, it's about the same size as ours. Well, little bit bigger, sure, but it's mostly infantry and we're almost exclusively cavalry. As you can see, he's got some cavalry, but really not that many. And generally, not always, cavalry is better than infantry. So, almost equal numbers, by and large better troops. Yeah. I definitely have a fair chance of being victorious. If I can keep track of where the British are. At this point I was just looking around very confusedly, because I managed to completely lose track of them. And there we can see some of the few British cavalry charging towards us. Yeah, there really don't look to be that many, but they have artillery, and that's the big thing that I don't have. As we can see, one of our recruits was just killed by an artillerist, and another knocked out. Which... Unfortunately, you can't see how many guns a party has before you actually fight it. It's just a limitation of how they have been coded in, and there's no serious way of fixing it. Once more, I managed to shoot out my own fellow's horse, and those artillerists are really messing us up. And that's us getting shot, and this is us taking really a lot of losses. Many more than we have inflicted. And there's us dead. Basically, I decided to pull out before it was too late, and yeah, with me down, it would just come down to the quality of our men, and they would all be charging, and it really wouldn't go well. So I decided to pull out of the fight, and yeah, really wasn't super sure about it, but it's better to try to replace 20 odd men than it is to try to replace 100. And now we have actually gathered quite a few troops back. We're almost on equal terms again, but not all of our injured troops are fixed, and I've run out of food. That little expedition of mine, it hasn't gone particularly well, but hey, plenty of stuff to sell, and food is nice and cheap, thankfully. If a loaf of bread cost 50 francs instead of 3 to 5, it would really just be completely unviable to be in the military in Legal. Because one thing you might notice is that we don't have a fief. When you joined a faction in regular warband, you got a fief that you could tax. And that was how you got a lot of your money. But now, we don't have anything. And there's Marshal Soult having been taken prisoner. And war is breaking out some more. The war doesn't really affect us. That's Holland against Russia. They're far too far away. But Marshal Soult is, yeah, he's kind of important. So I don't know what I was doing then. And if you're confused about why I'm seemingly not entirely talking about what's going on and saying, yeah, I don't really know what I'm doing now, that's not because I'm completely inept. It's because I'm kind of inept. Only kind of. There's an important distinction there, guys. But yes, I lost the audio when I was recording the video for this week's episodes. Well, really they were last week's episodes, but because I had to read up the audio, I couldn't get them done. And now we have a bandit attack. But we have our good man Dreadbeard. Not that he's going to be able to save us. That's 5 bandits, all for me. Fortunately, they just robbed me. They, didn't completely fuck me. So, here, I believe yes, it's time for a brief foray back into being a merchant. Since iron for 12 francs up pop, that's insanely cheap. Just slight spoiler for when I arrive. I think I'm selling them for 60 plus. Possibly more. We'll see. Yeah, 67. So that is yes, a 500% return on investment. Or 400%. I'm not entirely sure how return on investment stuff works. And actually, it's quite so much that this one merchant can't pay for it all. Though his fellow can. So, if you decide to play legal, and you are in some economic trouble, as long as you've got 100 or so francs, buy iron in southern France and take it up to Paris. And that will massively increase your money every time you do it. Of course, you need to wait a few days for the shops to restock, but still. Okay, and now I'm just waiting for my horse to heal, and Prussia and Russia are at peace. I wasn't even aware they were at war. Although, now I look, Grodno and Ostrog, those should not be Prussian territory. It's like Königsberg. That is East Prussia. Anything further east than that, that's Imperial Russia. And Napoleon is holding a feast down in Orléans. So, nobody's there currently. At least no lords are. There may be some ladies, so it's still worth going and having a look. But it doesn't appear to be the case. Generally, if a lord isn't there, any lady affiliated with him won't be there, unless that lord is the owner of the city. And now, because money troubles are still a thing, we're just going, having a quick punch-up, seeing how much money we can get. And note again, there by the door, it's us. It's even easier to note when we're in uniform. Because when we were just in a waistcoat and jacket, it could have just been another fellow standing there, but in uniform, that's definitely us. No question about it. And there we go. Punched him out. So now we need to go back, speak to the guy, and get our 35 francs. Eventually, that gets you quite a bit of money, but I'm not going to be showing you all of that, because that would take ages. Instead, what I'm going to be doing is something else. I'm going to be waiting here for a little while. So, that is one lord here. I didn't catch who it was, unfortunately. But we can go and have a look, see if he has any jobs he wants us to do. Because at this point, doing jobs for lords, probably sensible. So this is Jean Andoc Junot. So, does he have any tasks? No, he doesn't. He's a very boring man, he doesn't need us to do anything. Oh well. But he's brought a lady with him, as we can see. And just quickly showing off the uniform. It is a little odd, but the higher. And France and the UK are at peace. Again. But hey, right to rule. That's something. And hey, who knows? Maybe our stunning defeat of Thomas Graham played some small part in that. And, yeah, we are 6 renown off of our promotion to Lieutenant. And with another 8 minutes to go in this episode, more or less, I think the video is actually a little longer than 25 minutes. Well, 25 minutes and some spare change. You guys will already have known you have a little YouTube tracker at the bottom. But the exact length of time an episode goes to is... it varies in editing a little. So... And, of course, if there is something interesting going on at the end, or I manage to forget to turn on the timer, it'll probably go on a little longer than 25. Or if we're right near the end, I'll probably call it short. I have done this before, you know. So what we're doing now is going and looking for the Guildmaster. And... of course, now soldiers are somewhat respectful to us, as we are a Sergeant Major. And soon, hopefully, to be a Lieutenant. So, 2 guys over there. One of them is the Guildmaster. It's probably the one on the left, but the one on the right is standing out a bit as well, so we'll just go and check who he is. Certainly a little odd standing in the middle of the street. The clothes merchant. Oh well. And the Guildmaster, standing in an arch. People who stand in arches, they're important. Just take my word on this, okay? So... jobs. Excellent! A kidnapped daughter. So, let's see where we're going to. Now, last time, remember, the kidnappers were in Russia. This time, well, where could they possibly be? Looking around for the name of the place. And there we are. Borovsk in Russia. This is a little unfortunate that we have to cross the entire continent again. But hey, It's not that bad. I mean, it's not like we're at war with anyone in the continent. Oh, wait. We're right in the middle of Prussian territory, and we are at war with the Prussians. Fortunately, we can head out of the way a little bit by heading through Warsaw, but we still have to go by Ostrog and then back up towards Borovsk. Well, Borovsk, not Borovosk. I'm sure Russians find the English place names utterly confounding, but it doesn't change the fact that I find Russian place names utterly confounding. It's Kiev. Okay, I don't follow the etymology, but, it's at least pronounceable. But, yeah, Borovsk, not so good. And, there, I just skipped past it, Dniprova? Something of that ilk. Very unfortunate. But there are our bandits, 40 of them. So, last time, we agreed to pay them first. But then we double-crossed them and tried to kill them. Successfully killed them all, trying to get our money back. Unfortunately, we did not receive a single franc back from them. At least, not a single one out of the ransom. We received quite a few francs from, general assorted loot, but they're not the same, Not the same at all. But hey, we ought to be able to take them out in full. So apparently our men think they're close enough to be shooting at. Interesting fact about the Napoleonic chasseurs à cheval. They could detect heat signatures through bushes, so it was utterly impossible to hide from them. That is absolute bullshit, in case you were wondering. I would hope you would realise that... insert biting statement about opposition candidate of your choice. Doesn't really matter which one, just one of them. And... yeah. So it is worth just making absolutely sure. And... so, one thing is that I'm not... I have the video footage up while I'm commentating. I basically need to, otherwise you're just getting a stream of consciousness. You basically are anyway, but it's stream of consciousness that's hopefully technically related in some manner. It isn't necessarily related, but I try my best. What was I saying? But yes, I'm not watching this in my video editing software. I've exported the relevant footage, and I'm watching that. So that means that, if I spot the audio desyncing, there's absolutely nothing I can do. It's bloody awful. Okay. Well, there we are at the end. Next time, we'll be making our way back to France. I've been Merzendi, you've been you, and I will see you next time in Legal.